Okay, so it's almost 5 o'clock. There's really not much news until this FOMC nonsense starts. And there'll be a move, I suppose, on the way to that news. And I'm hoping for this floor. And I added on limits here and some market orders. When we got to this undercut, which I was saying earlier, a few hours ago, you know, with a zero spread, imagine there was no spread. It's the deception of these charts is that this is the bid only, and the ask, even though it's only 0.2 of a pip, there's still the spread in there, so it's about half. You're paying about a half a pip here. So you could get out of the trade right now if you had bought that window. Now this would just depend on your size and your time horizon. But like I said, as soon as we took out the high of yesterday, you could have sold that. But then you kind of have to buy this slot of because it kind of got so excited it went up and it left this void. Let's see if I have the void indicator because I got it on the other computer. I noticed that it's a great way to just illustrate the situation without. I don't think I have the. I might have it indicators. It's gonna be VF. If you see any indicators that say VF, that's called void fill. That's what I ended up calling it. Here, void fill. So this is an illustration of how the market sees the profile. I got set it on blue right now. So here is the void to be filled. And the next step, the indicator is built on the next step. What's next? Okay, does us no good too. We can look back, but this is looking back for us in a way that's just really quick and dirty. Right, look at the stair step down. This would be your trailing stop management bot. If you had a robot that would move to the stop, well, at some point we're going to clear out these stops, right? We're going to go stop hunting mode, but we stop hunted it. We didn't see it. You can't see the indicators is up to date right now, so it's erased the staircase that was annihilated that we didn't see, and that's the only problem there was you don't have the history. But if you wanted to see that, I guess you'd have to build a channel of highs and lows there, and so it doesn't erase. I don't know how you do that, but there's a daily view. So we got a stairway here of gosh, how many steps, right? You could do but look how steep this step is, right? So that's kind of like out of balance. And we didn't get to see the cascading. So if imagine the way that indicator is built, here it would be hugging. And this is a hole itching to be crushed. And then when it gets beyond it, it's out of its mind, right? Because it comes into this void. At that point, the indicator would be like this. If I was to replicate, you know, how it thinks. So it's a very crude view of the market. It's like, where has the market not been in a while? And where has it gone too far, too fast into the void, and now that's gone, and the trade's over. So the pressure is relieved. And I guess you could say, I don't know if this is any kind of, maybe in the bottom of the screen you have an indicator. When this gets close to this, obviously, you're starting to get near, like when this was hugging into here, and this was shelving down. And once that's filled, you know, and of course we can see this, and I'm saying for people that sold here based on that idea, they are up 30 pips. Sure, a guy that ran a trailing sell stop completely non-directional trader. He gets filled here amazingly. It's just unbelievable that he's kind of selling near resistance. Unbeknownst to him, he could make that claim about the trade. Oh, because it's here. But you could be just a complete goober and sell here. You're filled. And you're like, that's crazy. Well, I'll just put a trailing stop here. And you can see that you are still in that trade waiting to get stopped out. If you're going to tell the robot to look back 2 days, well, if he looks back too far, he's never going to make any money because he got filled here, he put a stop in here, and he missed out on this giant move. That's the dilemma. So if the market's breaking out, which it is, because it breaks out and then it does nothing, then it moves and it does nothing, and how is that a good it's just not consistent. So therefore your consistent moving average, your 5-period moving average, like if the market was really that steady, I guess there'd be something wrong with the chart. Maybe you wouldn't even get a signal because you're looking for the contrast of the market plunging into your idea of the trend. And the time frame is the only thing that matters. So in the dailies, you're going to wait like to make 300 pips here. You're going to wait like 5 days, 100 pips a day. If you could take some days the market moves 500 pips, and some days it moves 200 pips. And so how can you possibly build this suspension system for such a different terrain? And like I said, is it worth it so some people are already out of their 100K right now. Just what's been going on here. Just the setup period. All the retests, if you retest a 50 pip window 8 times, and people will say, well, that's a octuplet bottom, or they say that, there's that. So I'm looking at this breakout to the upside. So the tick chart's starting to break out here, and we got to go after this guy's stop. That is the target. We got to hit this guy out, blow this out. I got my deep analysis here. Got to take that out. Boom, we just took it out. Okay, it's a breakout, and we're looking for a panic to the upside to here by the time the Dow Jones opens. And they just trapped the guy that put a buy stop there. So that was the sell window. The breakout, this is a classic example of, should I buy there? Or, well, I mean, an hour from now it might be a profitable trade, and this might be the top. So that's constantly going on. Here's a trap. So they just trap these guys. Boom. Okay, it's tanking. Right? Tanking. And you're trapped long here because you got in and you were so bullish you're moving averages. Okay, now they're coming into that void. It's a hard move down. They're trapped under this floor, and we have to resolve that. So all these things got to happen, and the market just starts to rebalance itself, and then there's the path of least resistance issue, which is this void fill is supposed to show this big vacuum to me is driving it. So it's like colors aren't really colors. It's the reflection. It's the lack of that color, right, giving you the thing. So as this thing just treacherizes, just terrorizes, like it goes full nutsoid, this wick, that to me is the trade. I just can't believe how stupid that trade is. Like selling up here and selling the retest of this, but meanwhile this guy is selling up into that, right? He's doing that one. He's doing pretty good at it. I mean, a guy who's consistently aware of the lack of volatility, and yeah, you might get trapped on a few tickets, but if you're going to spread all your risk over the whole spectrum. Okay, now it's breaking out. All right, it's breaking out now. Okay, so we just, this should be the only instrument on here, so I should be able to get a full tick chart going here. So if you really want to drill down, if you're the volume people, you put up the tick chart, you just go, should be able to get a pure tick chart here. This whole screen. Right, because what does this matter back here? All right, so here's, if you could run a moving average on your tick chart, but we'll just have to do it by hand. Okay, so coming at 5 a.m., this is a big deal. There's kind of a panic now. Are we going to go up or down? In the vacuum on the top side, on the 5-minute stairway to hell. Okay, so we broke that out already. So now we got a vacuum below us, so there's a potential we're going to smash down. Okay, 15-minute chart. So now the volatility, when these guys get together, I guess you could say that's an ATR based on previous drama, you know. We are looking to cut that. So if you use this on your playback of the market, and the indication here is that over the past 2 bars is the ATR. I guess we need to have, but we could take that out, and by the top of the hour we'd be cutting up into that. So if we go to the 1-hour chart, okay, this stairway here, now here's the big lunge shelf that really blew people's minds. And of course the steepness, this is drawing the higher highs, I suppose, for you, the old higher highs. And we take out that stairway there. We pop above that. I want to get out. So I'm getting out. I'm not sitting for these. There's no way I'm going to sit through this whole drama thing. I already added on pullback, right? So if you were a sniper and you sat up all night, you could have got in that window right there when that thing spiked down on the 1-hour wick. There's a double bottom on the 3-minute chart here, I guarantee you. Inside of that bar. Okay, now we're looking to cut up, pop through the roof here, and we want to see some drama up into this 10-pip box, and I'm out. It's over for me. I'm not going to ride this thing. There's going to be so much chaos coming into this bullshit morning, and then when the stocks open, we could be taking this out, and this thing's already drawn us the potential. So this is better than the Williams fractal, designed by me for free. So some guy built it, but I said, is there an indicator that you can just look back and see, well, okay, well, we got obviously this whole day we've had this nothing going on, right? I kept missing my damn delete all objects here. I think it's at the bottom of the rack. Okay, so, and it redraws, so we can delete it, and it comes back in, and it's the ultimate market profile, in my opinion. But come on top of the hour, we're gonna pop up and get out. Now, some of these things are going to automatically get out, and some of these things I'm going to have to pull the trigger and actually sell into that shelf. I think this could be pretty quick and dirty, and this broker's very slow, so I'm in a giant position, so I'd have to start selling the logistics of having 1Ks. But then, again, it can work for you, because if you sell now, before we cut into this blue, and it could be a big wipeout to here easily by this price pulse idea that you're going to be here by here, or the most bullish view is that you're in a channel here and you're looking to get to here, right? And you want it to go. Yes, that is the ultimate, because it is if this is consolidation, this price pulse should equal that price pulse, right? In a given classic, and this goes on every week, as they say, and it does in different pip amounts, but this is a 10 pip and this is the 20s. This is 20 pips from here to here, and this is a 10 just marked in without a label, so that when I zoom out, you have to keep track of that because that matters. If you're running 40 pip grids, you're making a lot of money running 80 pip stops to make 160 pips, right? This is your double ratio idea. But in the real world, if you're going to exploit this void, and of course, at that point, the indicator was tightened up. I guess it's a moving average of it's a weird kind of moving average, right? So looking back at just these shelves. All right, top of the hour is coming here. We should see some kind of resolution. I think a lot of people got out here, like on this fake breakout, like in the sellers, as you come up to the top of the hour, I think people are like, we're getting out of that. That's just a little too ridiculous. And sure, it could go up there like you're saying and all that bullshit. A lot of people, if you bought here, it is bookends. You'd probably have to get out up here. Well, there's a vacuum right there that just got filled. So that would be the reason I would say people got out, is you made a breakout here in this bar, this first breakout, and a lot of people or a lot of robots would say, well, this has got to be wave 3. They're always looking to trade wave 3 because it's the biggest, hardest wave. So if this is consolidation back to if this consolidates back to here, which would be this triangle, and it rips, you kind of just want to be like, well, do you really want to put a buy stop here? No, you kind of want to buy this undercut here and ride that and get out. Or even this fast move down, because if you're scalping really big, okay, did we just take this out? Where's the floor? Right here. So you're looking to take this out now. But once again, you're making new lows. But if you look on the left, you can see on our 1 hour chart, you're like, I don't know. The problem with, so the 1 hour chart says, well, you're so close to the borderline, right? So now we're going to go to the bridge, guys. Get the Haitians. And the Haitians could put you like up in here. Like this is, of course, I'm underwater till here. I'm just saying, the swing traders that don't care about a few pips, 50 pip stops. This is the big thing. Is it a 50 pip stop? Which means if that's true, it's $5, on your 1K. How many of those can you put on? How much money's in your account? And then you just gotta trade smaller as the account grows. So if you're really trading hard because it's about money, okay, it's about how many laptops you left out there, and how much was each laptop. I'm surprised that these people are so arrogant. I'm surprised this his son doesn't just say, hey, dude, I'm down a laptop here. Anybody want to help me? So look at that. This is a target here. Deeps. Look how harsh these moves are now. Everything's getting crazy now. So, and this could be the turning point, right? We could turn down and retest this, and that's the other question. Would you buy more? And I would put a buy limits here, but I'm already in this count pretty hard, so I'd put buy limits all over again. And so when I'm constantly just trying to, at this time it's quiet supposedly. So that was kind of a little ruckus breakout there in London, and then we're stalled out into this top, and so these are, watching the tick chart is like a whole super tiny world, but you can see if you trade big on that tick chart and you had an execution terminal that you could just get in and out every 48 seconds, you could make money trading like that, right? But I would recommend you have like your hand on the mouse. You're going, and your left hand is always got either close all open and pendings, and it's like driving a fast car, and you just do it, and that's a different lifestyle. But I prefer to just put a cluster of tickets in and then get out in that manner. I suppose I'm getting out the market if I'm up in the trade. Now, if I'm down in the trade, that's already been established. So I'm just risking money. If it's down, all right, we're out. Um, and then what is your time frame? So I'm hoping to be out of this trade by the time the 8:30 in the morning or the um, stock market opens. But so the ruckusness will be happening either back down below that blue line or above the blue line. So it's that stupid of a system. Are we above or below that blue line? And then once we take that out, and unfortunately the indicator, well, not actually, it's the point of the indicator, but like I said, if you had a channel of highs and lows, so you could run a look back every 5 bars, but it's going to be a smoothed out high and low channel, so it's going to be sloppy. Where this is sharp, this is like, but I wouldn't change a thing there. I'm using this as, I just can't look at those candles too much. I mean, the candles ruin it for me because I can't see the trend. I can't see this perfect touching on this, where it just keeps on. The range traders just keep making money. People with zero spread are just, trading it all day long there. So I'm just trying to make like 20 to 50 pips. What ICT is trying to do, make 50 pips, make 100 pips. Yeah. The only magical part about it is the endurance. I say the punishment of waiting for what you figure to be. Yes, the math does not work. I know. So I feel that way about the market. So the how you lose money trading is that you can see what's going to happen. So it's not helping you because you're like, oh yeah, I've seen this pattern before. So can we just get this pattern over with? We've all seen this, right? No, you have to go all those phases. The 5 phases of grieving or whatever the people say. Okay, so it looks like we're trapped below here now, and we're churning away. And what are you going to do? This trading is just immensely boring for that. So we're trapped below here. Can we get back above there? And based on the 1-hour chart, I'd say we're inching towards this line of scrimmage. It's going to be crazy. I'm thinking maybe we'll go Hannah forex to here. So it's just like actually it goes up so fast it goes back in time. So I'm projecting the next move to be up here. But no, that's how it is. We have to kind of really think that we're going to come down here again. Like, you haven't missed out on entering this trade yet. So if you were to pull the trigger every hour, it was down. This is like a exercise. Every hour it's down, you buy at the market. If you're bullish. So you bought here and just mark them off and count them up. You're trading with a 30 pip stop, which allows you to, the market could come down here. So it's going to be $3. $3, $3, $3, $3, $3, $3. If you pull every down bar, $3, $3. Right? So add that up. Now, at any point right now, you could dump that whole position. Every ticket's a winner right now. That's how stupid it is. All right, we're looking to challenge this floor here at coming up to the morning. Going into Tuesday, coming into this FOMC garbage, which is watching stocks unravel yesterday was just insane. I was like, man, the guys that sold those tops, the people that stepped up to the plate and sold that, man, did they kill it. All right, this is it. The moment of truth. We're coming up on this pivot. Can we take this out by this time? That's all I'm asking. So that's my trade plan. I'm going to ride that for about 12 more pips up. And, gosh, I don't know, take a nap. I mean, this is so boring. So slow. We know what's going to happen. It's going to come up here, and then it'll turn out that this Dr. Fraud ended up with Dr. Fraudgy. He ended up over here. Turned out he had a Mangala kit at home. Yeah, 50 cals and had a Mangala starter kit. Busy kid, he's busy. Yeah, you know what? Come to think of it, his neighbors are saying shit like, yeah, he used to do something. I heard stuff coming from the garage, and it's crazy. When's that coming out? When are we going to hear about that part of it? All right, I'm looking for this. I'm looking to crush this void. Coming up on my void fractal. Yeah, pretty tentative there. I suppose stocks. Another problem with looking at the stock market is you want to make claims there too about the stocks and risk on, risk off. A lot of people talk like that, but really without the trade plan, without figuring whether it's going to be a 1 hour or an 8-day trade. If it's 5-day trade, these 5-day trades are 300 pips, if you can handle being in the market for 5 days. So, but I could handle being in a small position for 5 days, but I wouldn't want to be in a giant position for 5 days because at what point do you say this trade is, you're up X, like if it's that easy to trade, why don't you just get out? Because it's not always going to go your way. The last video I did, so there's these robots that sniff for people that post a lot of videos, apparently. So, just saying. Because as soon as I made that last video, because I made it 2 videos in a row, which I normally don't do, this robot comes in and talks about, I went to Mean Mr. Mustard shop, and there's 9 replies. I'm like, shit, this robot has its own reply system. Because there's no way. These aren't real people. Well, I guess not everybody has a profile on there, but okay. So a lot of people are selling here, I imagine. I mean, that's quite a move. If you go to the 1-minute chart using this index system, this void index, it's going to take a while to grab some 1-minute data here. We'll have to scrunch it. So this, in essence, is a nice example that you just took out. So you stop hunted this guy's. That's the lonely wick on the 1 minute. Inching up. Here's the 5-minute chart. So there's a big possibility you could crush this void, right? So this is the stacking. This climbing the wall of worry, as they say. This is like the trailing stops are here. So we could spike down before we even get to this resistance. So there's nothing you could do about it. You just have to wait for it to play out. So with most of these things, there's nothing you can do about it. Here's the 15-minute ICT charts. He likes those. But I don't know. It's a little too much data for me. Here, let me zoom in. Yeah, I suppose if you're like this, yeah. Okay, so the danger here is that people are selling into this, right? If I look at this, I think, damn, if somebody puts sell limits here, they're building a sell position, and they're already up. Well, they're not up yet. They're up here, I guess, just 1 pip right now. Because they sold that stairway that got taken out there. Now, if we buy here on limits, buying this as it crushes back in, you could put a limit on each stair stop. But we are looking to cut into here. Sellers will come in but sellers have come in pretty hard here, and this looks back pretty deep into the market. And it's not 8 o'clock in the morning yet, so we could still cut up there and test that void, cut into it by the time stocks open. But the question is, are you going to take this stairway up before you cut out here? All right, so there'll be a reaction here. A lot of people cash out, and the fuel here is going to be, well, here, I guess this is the fuel, but the, I guess, acceptance point where the market starts to go into that price. And I can see people cashing out now, so at any moment you can have a violent pullback, but you're really looking to cut the obvious retracement. You've gone down for 3 days. Yesterday has a hammer pattern yesterday, which means that they couldn't hold, the bears could not hold the market down by the close. So the point of the candlestick is that you have 2 pieces of data. Here I've only got 1. Well, here I just got 3. I got high, low, and close. But on a candlestick chart, the importance is the obvious small bodies let you know the market hasn't really done anything in that time period, but that's not true. It's been all over the map, but it's as if you came back to the thing, if you looked at your quote monitor, you say, and then you're wondering why they stopped you out. So some people have probably had that problem. How am I out of this trade again? Like, oh, yeah, it's the price it was, but it took a ride, and that ride, either if you have your stuff parked in there, your limits, that ride for a sleeper sell is a bank of tickets. You just wouldn't even know. Just a flash, zoom, but you're out. Like, you'd be out of this trade right now if you had a 10 pip exit. So if I got in here with limits, with a 15 pip stop to make 10 pips, I'd probably make my 10 pips. I'd already be out of that trade. And the density of that trap that I would lay, as opposed to watching it happen real time and every 15 minutes buying. So it goes down hard 15 and I buy. It goes down hard 15 again and I buy. And I'm like, well, we're locked in below the floor here. It's the first close into here, really, that's sustained and held for 15 minutes only, and then we're out, and it's just insane, right? That is almost the lowest close. Well, here's the lowest close back here. But that's a rare thing. Okay, now it looks like a sell-off's coming there. So the guys that stepped up to the plate and they sold that rooftop, they're up on that top ticket. If they sold that, it's not a lot of pips, but right. So somebody went short there all the way to here, and see top tick Tommy when we took out that, the piece sellers came in here. And now we want to buy below here again if we're going to add to it. Otherwise, we should be getting out, right? If we're like, it's just money. Now to rebuild, I'm at 300. I'd say about 280K. To rebuild that would be, well, I got to put 280 tickets back in. Just let it go. Okay, so let it go until 8 o'clock, or let it go for another hour and see if we can cut through this blue line. On the 15-minute chart, at the end of 15 minutes, I would say if I was short there, I'd get out. I'd be like, yeah, at this time, I would get out if it gets down. But otherwise, I'm getting out right now because I'm in so big, and I have a fear that they're going to take out this high, and it's just going to go ripping. So take out the high of last night, and we're just going to go nuts to the upside. And I don't want to stand in front of that vacuum. So that's the big picture. But yeah, that's a great little window there. But you know, how much is how heavy you got to trade on that? So you could trade every 15 minutes. But to make it worth your while, you'd have to get in. So if you could trade the, say, 3 fractals away or 3, you're looking for the cleanest chart, which would be the weekly. But you're going to wait fucking 5 months to get into a trade because you should see this triple bottom on the weekly, dude. Yeah, this will be my first trade. I waited a long time for this trade to happen, and I'm really thinking it's going to work out. Okay, so yeah, unfortunately we have to wait. But yeah, there are people that are waiting for the bottom of the hour. They're probably going to get out of the short they put on. And is this going to have follow through? Can we take it down to here now? Can we go all the way to here again? And then they're gonna then the news comes out. Then the stocks open. Kind of just bullshit news coming out. I figure all this price action here is just consolidation for some big move that's coming. And for me, it's the up is the goal. Just to complete that, to heal that void of that shearing off thing. But once again, these guys are making money. Look at that. They're up on that trade. Here's the top become a bottom, so you might have a buy limit here. That'd be a good place to get in right now. Yeah, this is a real lazy 5 a.m. But there is a big fear that that's going to rally, I'm sure. The bears are afraid that the ride's over. You can see the fear, you know. Yeah, I guess you can't rig it that far. Oh, well, I guess you can. But you're hoping it's rigged. You can exploit the volatility and the pendulum swing. That's really what it's about. The hope and fear. So you're making money from that too, just not doing it like a news show. Well, first we got this drug we want to sell you. Yeah, I'm listening. Okay, well, you gotta be really scared out of your mind for us to get some sales going. Okay, I'm with you so far. All right, the 15-minute chart. Those guys that sold up there are like, okay, the bottom of the hour we're getting out. This is a chance to get long here. Unless you put buy limits in, which I would have. If I wasn't in the trade right now, I suppose I'd put really shallow buy limits here, anticipating this break, inevitable break. I guess it's drawing the lines for me perfectly. I really don't use this indicator. I should use it more often just because it's just giving you a nice, quick and dirty automatic trendline drawing of what's really the pent-up demand and supply. 4 hours, interesting. Look at that, nice and tight. So yeah, what do you think? I mean, which blue line? We smacked down here and got a beautiful hammer, and we're just banging. We're knocking on heaven's door to close that window to my worst entry. It's here, I suppose, for the swing trades, and here buying like a whore below there. So this, I have to try to close this gap. For a lot of people, they're going to get out into this here, right? So the robots are going to probably say, get out, you know, on your break even, and but no, not everybody's robots being triggered by that. But there that is the last known going price, and this is such a harsh move that it kind of has to be healed. I suppose this is the healing part of it. I don't know. You always kind of want to have some explanation for the, well, why would that be? You know, and I suppose I'm always thinking, well, there should be a reason for these moves. They can't just be. Now there's formation, so there is a big giant move. Well, what happens after that? So we know that, and you could have a system that there's a robot. You can set the robot to launch the tickets 18 pips apart every 4 hours on buy limits. So right now, it probably would have accumulated maybe 28K if you had a micro bot that was just throwing tickets out there. Look at this thing. It's in a damn 28K, but it's up. It's amazing. Now, it wouldn't work if you threw that in front of the guppy, the pound to the yen, because it would just beat the shit out of it. It'd be like 30 pip stops. But with a tight spread, see, the spread's so tight that you can trade really close to the market and make more money on the euro dollar. So most robots are built on the euro because even the breakout, the delta is so small. I mean, it's almost at the market. It's just like following the market. Okay, 15 minutes. These guys are getting ready to get out on the half hour. Look at this. I don't know if they're going to wait that long. So the 15-minute guys are like itching to buy at the bottom of the hour here. The guys that just went short, they're like, well, and the guy that went short on a limit here, he's starting to lose money. He was up, though. He looked like a genius. He sold that shelf, and he looked like a genius when the market was here, but now he's like, I don't know. Everybody's worried about this. What happens if we take that out? Well, I don't know. It's going to be like the, that'd be the booster shot up here. Yeah. So there is a big freak out coming here. We gotta pop. We gotta jump the tracks here, or a Wyckoff. We gotta jump the creek. I suppose the creek's down here. See, the funny thing is that you could take this indicator and build a whole trading thing around it, and make a, you have your own turtle soup, right? That's what this is down here. So I buy this turtle soup down here. But see, this is the VAC on the that indicator was blue to blue here, and then the sweeping crush here is the buy. And you can put a lot of tickets in here. But you do have to have some predefined exits, because this broker ain't going to let you out all these tickets. I mean, I built $1 million positions in here before, and you go to get out, and it would be like about 15 minutes. And then it closed at 4 p.m., so you're like, all right, well, I better get on Friday. You're like, so sometimes it works to your advantage, because if you get out, the spreads are going to get wide, so they get you out before their spreads get wide. That's their how they kind of protect themselves. Because that gets crazy there on the open, especially at 5 p.m. So yeah, tomorrow's Wednesday, and or today's the big decision on the interest rates, supposedly, but they can't touch that stuff. They blow the markets up. I suppose they're so afraid. But to hear these people talk, but it doesn't matter really in a way. It's like at this point, when you print that much money, you're like on the Star Trek Enterprise. You're just in a world of nothing matters then. Because if Bitcoin can exist, then nothing really matters. You know that song, "Nothing Really Matters." It's how it is. It just doesn't matter, and that would be the argument people make for why you want to trade the markets, because they are fucking nuts. That guy that spammed me on my last video, it's so funny. They pick these cliche approaches to a topic, you just die. It's so funny. We know what you want to hear, so here. I mean, that fucking rent a girlfriend looked like that was even more believable. Some guy said in the reviews that he was afraid it was a real person back there. I said, man, you gotta get help. I think that's a real person back there. Okay, it's we got like 40 seconds to go before we'll get that 15-minute update, 15-minute chart. And we're going to power north here into stocks opening. But even though there's really no big news coming out, the markets every hour are getting more and more queued up here. So just jumping the creek would be my initial scalp, and then, okay, if it goes rocketing up, but in most cases, the market's just going to disappoint you and your grandiose targets, probably. Okay, there, 15 minutes just updated. So a lot of people are like, we're out. We're buying this. Now it could go lower, naturally, right? But we've established the blue line here. This is a pretty good indicator, actually, because it explains everything. You've got the high, the low, and the closing price lives between these two blue lines every 15 minutes. Right? And that's as simple as that. So you have this barometer of pressure. It's really the barometric pressure, I suppose. And are we gonna break out, or are we gonna fake out? Are we gonna keep on trapping people in what they think is a breakout? So you can take this opposing view and say, okay, I'm gonna go hunt stops with the market, and let's do that. Let's get in on limits where people have stops. Or you could say, no, I'll let the market quiet down. The blue lines come together, and I'll just put in a breakout strategy. And all these things depend on how you want. It's not that you can't make money either way, but it's the way people make money, I suppose, right? So do you want to be a hooker, or do you want to be a stenographer? Do you want to be a secretary that has a bonus package, or do you want a stenographer that's serious, and you got to get an attorney to go up against the people so they can't see their votes, What a rig, man. Let's see what I do for a living. Well, I can make a lot of money if I was, let's see, I'm a criminal attorney. I'll get a job. That's right, defending the government against the people that want to see how they supposedly voted. That's a good idea. Wow, that's better than forex trading, I think. Man, this is a real grind here, waiting for this thing to break out. But you can't be greedy. We broke out here. You could have got out here, but no, not you. So every 15 minutes you buy. Only buy big pullbacks on the 15. Now I'm looking for it to tank into this. So this makes the argument for both directions. This is really a non-directional indicator, because we see that if you haven't gotten long yet, this is a great slot to get in. But this will be the interesting slot. So it's helping us give us the pathway here. So we have some pressure building up. So we could get a nice sell-off here. And the guys that are still holding that trade from here, they're like, yeah, of course, we're not going to get out until it takes out this shelf. .5 minutes after. Go to the 5-minute chart. It looks like we could crush that blue line on the 5 now. So yeah, all the way back to here. And then another question, would you buy more? Should you got up here? Should you have got out here with $500? Or are you going to wait for it to make 900? Possibility is that they're going to go all the way down, take out this D below here. So we go to the time frames. I got some pressure building up here in the 1 minute though. So we're looking to take out this 1 minute stairway. That's the argument currently. So that's the head of the snake, so to speak. In the 1 minute chart. Okay, we need to see a rally here. Yeah, this is the tightest view you're going to get. Is this got to take out that stairway. We took out that stairway. There was one there. .5 minute chart. Pretty tight, right? Yeah. All right, so that's still waiting. Again, let's say, I don't know about these live videos a little bit. That's why when I do the back test, it's easier just to, you know, real life is just so slow. I mean, the simulator, you're cutting through like, oh, I just traded like 8 weeks of data, like fucking made X. Yeah, well, this will take a while to get to this either of these voids here. And the ATRs would get a bit small here as these come together. It's like an ATR combination. I guess if we get a value, the difference between these lines quoted in a value maybe down here in some type of volume indicator. I think you kind of add on to that. Other than speeding up real time. All right, so maybe I should pause the video there and go get some more beer. Crack me another beer, honey. I'm waiting for this breakout. Yeah, I got this fandangled trading system I found out there. Built it myself in the kitchen. So it's a real, creeper gear world. Oh, I can see a trend line. Yeah, look, I got a sheet here. I got a straight line I can draw. Wait for trend line breakout. Got it. Breakout. Get in. Go long, son. Go long. Going after this pivot here. Okay. Got the 15. I got the 5 in the rearview mirror, and I got the tick chart. We just, on the bleeding edge of breakout, we just broke that trend line. I gotta take this out. All right. Oh, shit. Turns out that was resistance. Sorry, Wilma. Sorry for that. Oh, boy. Looking for the trap these guys. It's the new fair value for the next 2.5 minutes. Oh. Yeah, it really gets very quiet before the storm. So unfortunately, I can't speed this up. Yeah, it's not like a strategy tester. All right, so it's another. Oh boy, I hear it pricking up there. I think they did break my trend line. Now I like that idea all of a sudden. And it's a problem because it's moving the chart. The trend line is not moving with the chart. Well, it's respecting that trend line, isn't it? I don't know about that. Okay, we trap these guys. Got triangle formation. Oh boy, which one? This is now. This looks like the indicator's telling us. The tea leaves are saying, yeah, this stairway is itching for a crush. Where these shelves, that stairway was denied crushing. So I'll cut through that like a zipper, and that's gonna take us, fuel us to here maybe. And what else? Well, we could still crush into that slot. Like I said, if you're not in. If we rip down, because we still got, we get actually by the time stock's open, we could be down here again. But that's okay, because if you got in down here, then in the big picture you're still bullish. So you definitely want to, you definitely may have to wait till here now. So I'm sure nobody would want to do that, but this will be the better place to buy. We got to buy more down here. Build a giant position here. Okay, that was a great 5-minute buy. So we did a little trap there. We cut that shelf off. Still got this pent up perfect stairway above us. But we did crush that little slot. Okay, so that's done. Now 5-minute, boom, look at that, wow. Because that was a 3-bar haul. If we were zoomed in on it, we would have seen it. We missed that redrawing of that blue line. So now we're trapped at this. Volatility's, I guess they call this a pullback. If you're bullish, this would be a pullback. Otherwise, we are going to have to crush into that void. And we'd be a buyer below here. And the best part about the indicator is that it's ignoring this, so you don't get distracted by what that buy that it would have been a new low to buy. You hide a sell. Like so, this is gone now, and this is the big look back, and this is the stairway to crush. We have to take out these bears protection stops or trap a retail supposed guy that buys. When he sees it move, he starts buying here and here, and so he's counting on him to fuel it, and just everybody's don't forget the people taking profits on this. So if you're short here and you wrote it to here on the 5, you didn't take profits there, and you really have to be fast, right? In 5 minutes you're a seller, now you're a buyer, cashing out, and then I say just put buy limits down here. And have your finger on the trigger every 5 minutes to be prepared to buy at the market, but then always thinking, yeah, but if they take it down here, I want to get some more of that down there. And never underestimate the fact that we got to come back here again and take out that lonely wick to this 10-yard line. You may have to. But this is based on, we're trying to get to 9 o'clock or 8 o'clock here. We want to take this stairway out by in the next 2 hours. But it might take until they come out with this stupid ass news at 2, so I'm really not into waiting for this stuff. If by the time stocks open, the market is taking this stairway out, then by 2, yeah, you could be up in the ozone there. So I would, if I could scalp to here and ride some move to here, by then, then that's different. So here, if you just woke up, this is still a good buy. So if you bought a little bit here, would you buy more here? Because why is the trade not good now? That's the thing that would kill me. They go, well, that trade's off. We're not going to trade then. I'm like, you don't have a plan for the market selling off? Nope. Sorry. 200 period moving average. Now take your vaccine, get the fuck out of here. Put your mask back on and get out the 200 MA. Is that what you said? What did he say? The 100 period moving average or the 200 period? He said you have to wear 3 masks. And it's a 300 period moving average. Why is that? Well, it's 6 feet. Well, why is that? Because people can understand 6 feet. Some people are 6 feet tall, dumb shit. So if you fall down dead in front of me of COVID, I'll know what 6 feet is if you're 6 feet. It's so, they say, why the 6 foot rule? So when people drop dead, they don't hit somebody, dumbass. There's not a lot of people. Well, okay, they should have made it, for the basketball players, they should have made it a higher. It's so you don't get hurt. Okay, maybe the head hits your ankle. All right. You get time to get out of the way. 6 feet apart, you're going to drop like flies. Did you ever think in your lifetime people would come up with that shit? Hey, tell everybody the sky's falling. God damn it. We had that in the 70s. It was called acid, or the 80s. Acid rain. Taking the finish off my car. I don't hear about acid rain anymore. Did we get rid of it? What happened to the ozone? I thought we were all going to die. We're going to revisit that. It's going to be the new crisis. We're going to reinstall that crisis in your brain. Okay, so we just took out the lonely wick. Big buyers here. Big buyers. Okay, we just updated that 5-minute chart. Okay. Look at this big ass vacuum now. All the way back. So we could have to come back into the pool here. Once again. Back into the fair value. Away from those dangerous high prices. Overpriced stuff that people buy. The Apple phone that's being hacked to bits now. Okay, look at that beautiful stop hunt. Now that would, if you babysit that, you could be the sniper and you get a bot right there. Wow. Nice. So we just took out that shelf. The stairway is not as compelling here. That 5-minute stairway is just beautiful, but there is no stairway on the 15. Wow. The 1 minute. So see how many tickets, see how far, this is a tenth of a pip. So you never really want to repeat a price. You want to try to put in, so in a 1 pip window you can put a 10K in without repeating the price. Okay, so look at that beautiful 1 minute spike into the lonely wick on the 1. That's a great scalp. Okay, we're looking to take out this 5-minute stairway into the stock market opening. But we had enough dry powder. We could have got in here and bought in this window. Okay, that was a nice frantic. Now, the 15-minute traders, by the way, they could have rode that for half an hour. Had you sold this top, Tippy Top Tick Tommy, you crushed him in a half. You beat him up in less than 45 minutes. That's two 15-minute bars. Back to this order block here, see? Just rip their face off. All right, now we're going to ride this into the, hopefully 6:30 in the morning. We're going to be taking out this. I'm looking for a very quick and dirty crush on the 5-minute stairway. And then we want to start cashing out when we come into the void. That's the big picture again. So that's quite a difference between the 1 hour chart and the 1 minute chart. See that, you can't even see that drama. That 1 minute sell off, 5 minute psycho spike, 15-minute hammer. And the 4 hour. Okay, so it doesn't look like a bridge too far now to make it to here. If that's the last, you can't see it, but so here is fractally speaking. This is the dippity-do window. And this was the ultimate, right? Because you got down, and we know because of this drawing of the blue line, we know there's a wick there. We don't question that. And now the fears are, people are like, geez, I don't know. The daily, it's a very long stairway way up here. I ain't waiting for that. 4 hour looks like we're back to this, yeah, this is going to be the big selling window for this whole 20 pip window. Is going to be sellers galore. Okay, 5 minute. So we took out that stairway. I took out 2 steps. We still got 6 steps to go there. Now these are big, deep. Okay, so the ATR is kind of small actually, because of the way that has not taken out those new highs yet. So on the larger time frame, going back like an hour here, because this is a 5 minute chart, so it's about an hour of ATR. It's a different kind of ATR, I suppose, because the smallest was right here before that breakout. So if you would have buy stop on the top of the 5 minute chart, right? But you can see how many times a robot would get destroyed in that kind of scenario. The big picture is still going to be the 1 hour chart. Four-hour charts. So here it's going to be like the structure of the close, I think. If this bottom becomes a top in a sloppy 10 pip window, you know, this is not perfect stuff, but this is the creek we have to jump back into here. And then I'm out, because inevitably I'm just not going to hold these trades. It's stupid. Because look at this. You may have been the most bullish puppy on the planet. You're like, look at this. Comes back to the floor. Look, it's going to go to the moon. No, it's not. It's like, it's actually a sell of the century. So when it comes up here, yeah, I would buy in limits coming back. So if I just banked, if I just made $900, I'm going to lay and risk 300 on limits and just go back to sleep. And if it comes back here, and it could still blow these tickets up too. Okay, 6 o'clock. This is kind of the turning point. People are starting to get antsy about what's going to happen. And did I sell too much euro yesterday? And well, it's really low down here. So if you're selling here, your target has to be this breakout of that blue line on the downside of the 4-hour chart, I would say. All right, let me get rid of these objects. All right, that is the 4-hour chart is pretty huge. Yeah, here it looks possible. It's going to be taking out the high of the week, basically, and going after the low of last week. So people that sell tops become bottoms on the weeklies. Yeah, can't see it here, but there's the exit. Daily stairway to. So we could easily make it to beyond my target, which would be here. I'm sure that's somebody's target. And just make money on that sweeping swing to here. That'd probably take to the end of the week to get there, though. I just want to make it to the end of the thing here. Anyways, that's the current situation. Waiting and waiting and waiting. Okay, so it's going to be top of the hour here. And this is a nice trend going here on the tick chart. Are we going to make it? Going after this baby staircase left on the 15. We've annihilated most of that stairway. Now we're banging against the top of that. Alrighty then. So that's how that goes. I gotta go back to sleep. I just thought I'd so VF void fill indicator, but you don't need it. You can kind of see. I mean, actually, I don't use it because I guess I'm just thinking, well, this is the most important price I can think of. And the rest of these zigzags are just chances to make like 10 pips, 20 pips, 10 pips easy, I suppose. All this shenanigans back and forth. If the spread is this tight, which it is, so that you're paying a half a pip, if you can set your targets to make 5 pips and up, you're doing pretty good. So just don't go for the booster shot. That's too dangerous. All my stuff gets approved when I look at it, because there's such filters now on the robot. So when I post a video, they say, are you, they say, we have to look at this now. They scan it. We're scanning you. Stand still, we're scanning you. Are you? Can't even feel it. Gosh, people are coming unwrapped. Have you seen these people over in Australia? Honestly, what the fuck happened? Have people lost their minds? Don't you wonder? Is anybody concerned about this stuff? Look at the market at 6 o'clock in the morning. Jesus. Okay, so we're going to pop. We might pop up here. 6:05. Cashing out of something. Took a 5K off the table. That's not much to brag about, but every little bit helps here. We're not looking to when it's if I'm going to buy when it spikes down, I'm going to sell when it spikes up. If that even if that means I'm just going to but putting in the pendings, it's a lot of effort, I suppose. That's why the double click. If you're committed to selling high or buying low, you could just dedicate it to a double click, and that's going to save you some effort. Then you can take more naps. You just can't beat napping, really. Okay, so my show's coming on 6 o'clock. I'm addicted to listening to this radio show. So what we got here? We're at the line of scrimmage. We're knocking on heaven's door, and I expect to see people spam me because now I've posted the third video in less than 70 hours, and it qualifies me to be used and abused by the spam bots. 9 replies. Dude, I don't even have, I mean, what I'm talking about is so not popular, and you have one guy comments with 9 replies. Man, they are really, talk about people just scraping the bottom. But there's a robot somebody built. Silliest thing. I mean, the robot responds to the other robot. I guess that's how it's set up. Okay, I'll stay with the breakout here for 5 minutes. But yeah, this is the culmination of all that zigzags on this 30-minute chart, is that it's going to rip finally. That 1 hour looks a little bit more soothing of a story. Comes back to here and then to here, and we're looking to take out that blue line and run to here, and then we're done. Then we can just take a nap. Okay, let's jump the creek here. In Wyckoff theory, we'd be jumping the creek to here, I think. We're gonna jump the creek down here, though. See, there's a lot of creeks to be jumped. That's almost like a gap open. Gap down this week. Monday, hard down. It's Tuesday. Let's go after last week's low now. 12 pip target. It's not that hard. 12 pip target's not that. That's not that inconceivable. But this is a very efficient trade because we can reload the gun on limits, and now we can get in super wide, and we can relax and put in swing trades that we don't have to babysit so much. So if you just got done scalping and you just made X, and you can switch and become, which you can't really do in the real world, you can't turn your your store into a different kind of store on the fly like that. But yeah, if you can go to swing mode, and maybe you go put on some dollar yen trade, because I haven't looked at that dollar yen in like about 2 days. But I was trading dollar yen earlier because it's the same pattern. I mean, it's the same price fluctuations are similar, but way more expensive on the pip side for the yen, but a little cheaper to hold it, right? It costs less margin to control it, but it's the most liquid other than dollar yen. I mean, euro dollar. So euro dollar is very tight, and the next tight problem, the spread goes wide. At the end of the day, on exotic pairs, the spread's going to go to 40 pips at the close of the day. So if you swing trade that, you have to trade with a 200 pip stop if you trade some of these currencies. So they just kick you out. And so, yeah, this is 6:30 in the morning. It's going to take maybe 8:30 in the morning for us to kick up 12 pips here. So let's see what happens. We're going to ride it out, ride the storm out here. Going to the north side. That's my target. 12 pips up. I'm cashing out on the way to the target, by the way. As soon as it cuts into this vacuum, I'm cashing out. Those are all my exits right there stacked up. Here's my greedy targets. The swing trades are built into that. I turn them off because it conflicts with my entries because I'm worried about where I got in. I'm assuming the exit's going to be decent. A good idea. Here's the exits. That's a bad color. Here, I'll make them blue. Also, this is stops in there. And I've got pendings in here still. So it's a real mess from that standpoint. Okay, so there's my exits, the blue. And here's my stops. But there's new tickets down here that haven't filled yet, but I don't think they will. I got 8-hour buy limits pending down here. That blue's different than the other blue at least. All right, so targets to here and then targets all the way to there. And I really didn't, they're just, there's no rhyme or reason for those targets other than that I'm trying to make 20 pips, or I'm trying to make 8 pips, or I'm trying to make 30 pips and stuff like that. But the market orders have the biggest targets because I'm pretty certain about those, right? I put a 20 pip stop or a 40 pip stop. So when the market's really dropping, and I don't recommend it because if it's really dropping fast, you want to throw in limits, if all means. But if you see that the market's down 300 pips, and you're like, wow, this is crazy. Let me just buy a 10K here with 100 pip stops. Having a few of those is always a good thing because if you buy a 10K, and I almost think you can't beat limits, because if the market is screaming down and you can hold your script above the market like this, so you're holding it like this, and the news comes out and you've got your finger on the script and here it's plunging, and you know that this is a grid that's going to come in every 20 pips for a 10K, which allows you to buy a giant range, and you're like, we're just gonna, and they only filled 2 tickets. It's just that's the technique. That is the whole crux of it there. And if your left hand is on the take profit key, then you can scalp that, and you can just, once you get the rhythm of that, or once you get used to that. But in Asia, you're going to have to come in with limits that are like 5 pips deep because the market is so quiet for you to do that trade. But then when the market's on fire because the news comes out, so when the FOMC comes out today, I can, if I've got the take profit key and I would have it in my left hand and I have my mouse in my right hand, I'm going to drop these tickets and they're going to come like right, and I can throw them out. If they wipe out one of these tickets, I'll lose 24 bucks on this ticket. That's a 40 pip stop to make 25 pips and a 15 pip range. So if I put that down here to buy, that's what it looks like. And I mean, if the news came out, I could drop 2 of those and know I'm risking 48 bucks to make 30 bucks. And that's all that could ever happen there. Or there'd be slippage maybe. Okay, so we're just looking to pop up here. Anyways, I gotta listen to my show. So that's that. We're looking for this thing to go up 12 pips.